I got one thing to say after reading this week's indie books. Go, Speed Racer, go! Howdy, howdy, American Texan here, and I love to read comic books and talk about comic books, and I want to talk about comic books with you. Other folks are talking about the industry drama, whether things fail, flop, or whatever. I'm here for the stories. I want to talk about the stories and share what I read. And this week, I got to read seven indie books. Unfortunately, trying to catch up with the releases last week, I'm still behind, so I'm reviewing the books that actually came out in October 2025, and I will hopefully catch up to last week's next week, if that makes any sense. If you're a comic fan, you got your reading stack, right? And you can't skip issues, so you got to catch up. And this week was an absolute pleasure. 3 Speed Racer books I read trying to catch up to Speed Racer number 4, and it was an absolute blast. We also got some Mark Millar here. Just one book that I didn't really care for. But if you love indie books, let's talk about some indie books. Let's go over to my desk and look at what I read and talk about some of the amazing stories that are happening right now off the indie shelf. All right, here are the books that I read this week. Like I said, it is very frustrating that, I only have so much time and I'm just still not caught up. So I am like a week behind. Some of these are a month behind as I tried to catch up on where I was behind to get to the releases last week. If you're a comic book reader, you know what it is. So let's just talk about the books that I did get to read, starting with the only one that I'm still kind of iffy on. The rest of these were just an absolute joy to read. But Resident Alien, this series here is starting to lose me. I've really enjoyed some of the previous works that I've done. Of course, I started with the TV show, then I jumped to the comics, and it was kind of a smooth transition based on where we were in the TV show and where we are in the comics. And we're, of course, much further in the comics now. But this one, compared to the other volumes that I read, this one is just a little bit too much day in the life. And maybe it's just because we're getting more of the family into it, and it's less on Asta and Harry. It's something about this is just not gelling with me too much. But that said, it does say a lot when something's not gelling, but I'm still going to stick with it. They have built up a lot of equity and a lot of loyalty from me. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to finish out this volume. Hopefully it'll pick up, but we'll see. I don't know. So Resident Alien, I know number 3 came out last week. I just caught up to number 2. It's just, this one's not hitting me. And sometimes you just get those arcs that are, maybe not gelling with you. It doesn't mean the series is bad. It's just not gelling with you. Wow, this one was so good. G.I. Joe number 12. Again, number 13 came out last week and I just didn't get to catch up on it. So hopefully by the time I launch this, publish this, I will be caught up so we can talk spoilers. But man, what a fantastic intro. We've got Shooter in here. And, again, I don't know too much about the G.I. Joes, but this one just did some amazing work with the art. I love that. This right here, I love that. Very Batman-esque after reading DWJ's Batman, Absolute Batman. And the art here, nighttime scenes seem to be so hard to do. And this is done super, super well. So I am super enjoying this one. Shooter is a straight up BA, right? But she doesn't seem girl boss. I think seems like she's got like she's put in the work, she's put in the grind, and she's put in some hard work here. So I don't think she doesn't come off to me as a Mary Sue. I think everything that she does in this book is earned. I'm excited to see what's coming with that. So I think that was really, really great. Also, I took my books on the road with me. I did some traveling, and unfortunately, some of these corners got dinged. I collect for the collection. I don't plan on selling, and especially not grading. It's still kind of disappointing to ding a book like that. All right, then we got some Millarworld. We got Nemesis Forever. Issue 2, again, issue 3 came out. I'm just not caught up. But wow, I enjoyed this one. The art is fantastic. Is it Albuquerque doing this one? Or is Albuquerque doing the other one? Who's doing this one? Matteo Scalero. That's right. Scalero's doing Nemesis. And this was really cool. I really enjoyed this. Man, Mark Millar knows how to play with your emotions. And so she has to decide to, she's got to kill someone, right? It's the old, undercover cop has to do drugs kind of thing, except this one, she's got to murder. But they planned it out. And so the way they planned it out to where she doesn't necessarily have that much blood on her hands was super, super fantastic. And if you read the book, or if you're pausing to see the screens, you can see what that is. It's very mature, by the way. A little bit too late for that. But man, Mark Millar knows how to hit all the buttons, how to make you feel things. how to make you like really squeamish, but also enjoy being squeamish. Just absolutely insane. I cannot wait to catch up because I think Nemesis does even worse things in the next one. Speaking of heart, man, Huck has the biggest heart. The fact that you can go from writing the most evil, villainous guy that just like, oh my gosh, what kind of insane person can write a character like this? But then you go to Huck, who is just like the biggest, like softy, like, oh my gosh. I'm enjoying this one. I know some people in League of Comic Geeks didn't really like this. I'm super enjoying that. I really liked this issue. Now this one's drawn by Albuquerque, and uh, we get some backstory here on who these guys are that are killing off all the supers, and they do everything in kind of one fell swoop. Huck loses his mental connection, whatever his superpower is. There's a huge twist at the end I won't speak to, but holy cow. I am so into this book. Again, Mark Millar just does not miss. Wow, unbelievable stuff. So I know, again, number 6 came out last week, but I'm still so far behind. If that's you, if you're behind on your stack, let me know in the comments below. And then the last one here that's been a joy to read, and this is why I'm so far behind, because I want to read these books again and again. I want to read it, I finish it, and I go back and I want to read it again. And that's not the kind of reader that I am. I'm normally a read it once, put it down, and I'm done. But these ones I want to keep going back to. That is Speed Racer. We've got Speed Racer number 3, Speed Racer Tales from the Road, and Racer X. And this was absolutely fantastic. I believe this is the order that they came out in. Speed Racer number 3, I love what they did here because they didn't market it this way, but if you're paying attention, you see this. So Speed Racer number 3 has some stuff happen where Speed Racer goes up in a race against Racer X, and then stuff ensues, some action ensues. People are trying to sabotage everything, you know, the criminal syndicate and all that. And we find out in Racer X number 2, we get Racer X's perspective on what was happening in number 3. So there's some things that are happening in Speed Racer number 3 you kind of infer from the context, but Racer X actually gives you the internal dialogue in a very noir style of why he's doing what he's doing. A ton of one-liners in here. Every page is quotable, and the art is absolutely fantastic. This was so great. I mean, you can almost not even tell that it's written by 2 different writers. I mean, just maybe that's what made it so good, because you had David Pepos writing Speed Racer, and he's the voice of Speedy. And then you got Mark Russell writing Racer X, and he's the voice of Racer X. And just, oh my gosh, so much heart in this. I am just over the moon. Speed Racer, this universe is doing everything that everyone else is trying to do with a combined universe. Just absolutely amazing. And then we get Speed Racer Tales from the Road. This is a little bit of a tropey story, but done in all the best ways. So there is a story or a saying or a quote that I hear often in the entrepreneur world. It all comes down to your mindset. The quote goes that there are 2 sons. One is an alcoholic because his father was an alcoholic. The other one was sober and never drank a drop of alcohol because his father was an alcoholic. The things that happen to you are a result of your work, of your mindset, of your attitude, and how you take things that happen in your life are a result, how you do things and how you live your life is a result of you and you alone. And so it takes that idea and puts it into Speed Racer. So you've got Racer X and this new character to me, the Viking, and it tells the story of these 2 princes. And it does the same thing. It introduces them both in kind of a similar way. Racer X starts with a young man leaves the only world he has ever known. He resolves to change and become better. And then there's the Viking. A young man leaves the only world he has ever known. He resolves to change and get what he wants. So it shows kind of this duality of how these 2 approach life. I really like the art style. Not typically my art style, but man, that page right here on the left and this page right here on the right, absolutely amazing. You see there's no dialogue on here, but there's so much happening in these scenes. Just absolutely gorgeous. And the race cars, the race scenes, again, just amazing. And we even get some like cool like shifting here. So it's almost like you can picture it like what's that movie series called with the race cars? Fast and Furious. There we go. Fast and Furious. It's almost like Fast and Furious. You can see them like shifting down and then clutch and gas and zooming away. I mean, just so much fun in this book. And then the backup here by David Pepos has some stuff with Chim Chim and what's Speedy's little brother's name? Spriddle. That's what it is. Spriddle, right? Not Spriddle. And so this one is a little bit more of anime style, but you know what? I think it works out really well because it is Sprittle. It is that younger voicing and younger antics. And so having that more youthful, like that smile there, like that's just a, let's zoom in on that. That right there is just a great example of the art style in this one. So it works. It works for the story. And this was just an absolutely enjoyable read. So if you're not reading Speed Racer, get in on it now, or at least pre-order or add to your wish list, your pull box, the Speed Racer volumes that are going to come out, because this is so much fun. I'm loving all the old stuff. I say old stuff, all the classic stuff that's coming out. Speed Racer. You've also got Space Ghost. The Phantom by Mad Cave as well is just an absolute blast. If you're a fan of classic comics, Mad Cave is crushing it. So there you have it. That's what I read. Speed Racer is obviously my favorite series of the week as well. I mean, and it's hard to beat Mark Miller. I'm not gonna lie, but Speed Racer, you guys did it. Congratulations to all of y'all for winning my heart for the week. Mark Miller, you're a very close second. But thank you guys for watching. I will be back with the what I get at the comic shop on Wednesday, as well as Big 2 review on Friday. If you want more comic talk and just to enjoy what we're reading and what we're finding at the store, like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Your time means the world to me, and I will see y'all in the next video. Adios.